Okay, man, we're live.
All right, so listen, it's almost 3 o'clock. Jennifer Batten is in the studio recording her new chorus. We're gonna barge in on her. She sort of kind of knows something's up, but we're not 100% certain that she knows exactly when it's gonna happen. So join me, we're on air, we're at TrueFire Studios. Jennifer Batten, you ready? Follow me.
So it's actually the pressure of your right hand that opens up the filter. If you have a very light touch, it's going to be kind of muffled. And as you add more, it really slams open.
Jennifer!
Hello.
You knew we had something cooking up here at TrueFire with a little bit of a live interview. You did know that, didn't you? Sort of, kind of, maybe?
Yeah, somebody
Well,
else
it's
put it in
happening.
here.
It's happening live right now.
All right, I'm
Okay?
ready.
TrueFire folk around the world are tuned in. Sorry to interrupt your session. I'm sure we can do it again or give you a nice pickup.
Okay.
But we're going to throw 5 questions at you. Can you handle that?
I can. I am fully caffeinated.
Okay, good. Question number 1. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Rock Sauce Rhythm Guitar launched yesterday.
Yay!
Very, very successful launch. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm
That's
very
your first,
proud mother.
Your first TrueFire course. And how many years was I after you to get into TrueFire? It's been a lot of years, but
At
I
least
finally
10
convinced
years.
you. I don't know how I managed to do that, but thank you for that. What are you working on this trip?
This one's going to be a follow-up to the Rhythm Sauce. It's going to be rock and roll soloing sauce, where I give just about every technique I know to help bring your solos alive with some extra nuances and techniques that maybe people haven't worked with before.
Nice. Now, with rhythm guitar, 95%, and you said that in the course of the time that you're playing guitar in a band setting, is rhythm guitar.
Sure.
So what one single insight could you share with us about the 5% of the time when you get to play a solo?
That's when your heart starts pounding. When you get to really let it out and express yourself. For me, that's the most satisfaction. Although I really enjoy doing rhythm guitar as well. I can be just happy skanking along all night long. I think truly where my heart is doing soloing. So that's what I've spent the most time working on and where I have the most fun. So I just get to go off the handle and do all kinds of wacky sounds and whatever I feel like.
Fantastic. Now that's still one question, okay? Don't be counting questions. Sounded like 2, it was really 1, okay? Question number 2. What's happening? Are you touring? What's happening professionally? Like, where do you go from here?
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on this fall and winter. I'm going to India, which I was there with Michael Jackson in Bombay for one show, but I've never been back. So to do my own music there is going to be kind of fun. I'm doing a multimedia thing with films. I play in sync with films. I'm going to be judging a guitar contest and playing with some locals and doing some clinics there, and followed by a month in Europe, where I'll be kind of opening for myself, where I do the multimedia show for half hour, 40 minutes, and then play with a band afterwards. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a new thing for me.
Now, we have students all over the world that, in India, in London, wherever. How can we track where you're going to be at any given time? Where do we go?
As soon as a date is confirmed, I put it on my website, batten.com. You just click on performances and see where I will be.
So it's batten.com?
Batten. Batten.
.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if we sign up there, do you send email blasts out announcing tour dates and things like that? Or do we have to keep checking back for the calendar?
Well, it's always good to check back, maybe once a month, in case I space, because it is manual, hand-cranked emails that go out. But there is you can sign up for the street team. And also you can sign up on Reverb Nation, because when I send a blast out, it comes from Reverb.
Awesome. Talking about, I've been lucky enough to see you do one of these multimedia film-centric concerts. And you don't see that a lot. It's a really kind of, you're pioneering a whole new type of musical performance. Can you tell us just a little bit more about what that is, what happens there?
Yeah, it's really fun. You know, I just kind of came to a spot in my life where I'm going, what's next? Played with the biggest pop star in the world and biggest guitar hero in the world. What's next? You know, do I start working at Burger King? And I just started thinking I'd really like to make a show that's low maintenance, that's just me. I bought a motorhome, came up with the film idea, and I actually put the word out to filmmakers, because I didn't make films, that I wanted to have this, you know, third dimensional part of the show to make it extra entertaining beyond just the music. And after a year and a half of sending out MP3s to about 50 people, I only ended up with 4 films. So one of the guys that sent me a film showed me how to make films, and I became completely OCD obsessed with filmmaking. And I think it's, of the many art forms I've been involved with in my life, it's the most obsessive. I could easily sit on the couch 14 hours a day and edit film, and it just, you know, time just flies. So I cut everything in sync with the beat. So, you know, the frames are going to change right on the beat. And people always come up to me afterwards and go, how did you do that? It was just so in sync. And it's very easy to do, just making markers where the beats land and then edging the film up to that.
Are you working with a click track, or?
I always lay down the background music first.
Cool.
And cut the film to that.
Right.
So it's easy to put it in sync. Although I did work with a filmmaker once that had absolutely no sense of time, so I guess it can be a challenge to some people that are not musicians. But I get all kinds of film, from old black and whites to modern animation. There's just imagery that hits you. There's probably a million different frames that you see during the night. And I find it really opens up the audience, so that even little kids that might not have been able to sit through a show of my music, that don't understand it, that all of a sudden they're engaged for a full 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. So it's really opened up a whole new audience for me.
Well, good luck with that. I mean, we're fascinated with it. We never miss one of those shows whenever we get a chance. And, you know, it's brilliant. So
well,
thank you for doing that. Keep doing it. And I urge, you know, all of our TrueFire folk to go out and catch you doing one of these multimedia events. It's spectacular.
Well, thank you.
I don't think many people know that you're also like a visual artist beyond filmmaking. I've seen, and you were kind enough to send us some killer steampunk sculptures that you made. So
yeah.
Tell us about that side of Jennifer Batten.
You know, it's just like different arts where I don't know how it got in my head, but I just woke up and I'm just obsessed. I have to do this thing. And I really got into steampunk and started looking online and seeing there's a whole subculture of people that are into it. I had worked with glass art before, and all of a sudden now I'm into metals and collecting vintage things from thrift shops and giving them a whole new life, repurposing them. Just the whole idea of making fantasy airships that will never fly, you know, so you can do whatever architectural design you want, just became really fascinating. And I find it's a really great balance to have a visual art with music. It really balances us out. You know, I spend time on the visual arts, and then when I go back to music, it's fresh, and then vice versa. So I've been trying to make them smaller because I'm running out of space in the house, but it seems like every time I say I gotta go small, now the latest thing I'm working on is 8 feet tall. They grow.
You're a Renaissance woman. I'm telling you, man. You've got a lot happening. We love you here at TrueFire.
Thank you.
When you came in the last time, you were working with a pedal.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the pedal, because we went right out and bought that pedal when you left. We couldn't believe the sounds you made just from this one pedal. So do you mind if the camera comes around and you just give us, and I'm going to tell you why. We're giving one of these pedals away. So and anybody that signs up just enters their email. We're just going to randomly pick one and give this pedal away. So the camera's right behind you. And just a quick little tour on what's happening with that pedal.
Yeah, well, I have a bank set up. You can have 10 different banks. They have 100 presets that you can choose from. You can tweak your own if you're a tweak head, or just grab the sounds that are already there, which, 90% of the sounds that I use are stuff they've already programmed, and I just tweak it a little and change the reverb or delay, or especially on a solo patch, I'll always add a whammy pedal, which is a harmonizer. You work with your foot I'll bend notes down a whole step or chords. Some fun things that they've added in the newest RP1000. I've been with Digitech 20 years, and they just keep coming up with the coolest stuff. So I'm excited whenever they come up with a new pedal board to see what's new in it. The backwards delay is awesome. That's always fun for a quiet part of a song. Just bring that in, and you don't really know what's coming back at you. It's kind of cool. And they've also finally added a ring modulator, which I really dig. It's a really nasty sound, but as long as you don't overdo it with specialty sounds like that, it can be really effective. Let's see, the auto yaw. It's kind of like the talker, only you don't use your foot to open it up. It just automatically has a time span that it will open. And then a lot of them I added with the expression pedal, you can bring in delay. So my foot moves and there's the delay. And I've started programming a lot more than I used to. I've added an octave down with the whammy pedal, and kind of incorporating that into some melodic stuff. Just gives you a different texture, and of course you gotta have your wah. And that's just some of them. I got banks and banks and banks of fun stuff.
The dampener, tell us a little bit about that. And in fact, I know we're going to get questions about the guitar, so give us the rundown on the guitar, the dampener, whose signatures those are,
All right, well, this guitar I've had for 15 years. It's a Washburn. That was my signature model, the JB100. And when I was with Jeff Beck, I had a synth pickup in here, which through the years got a little butchered, so I had it removed. But I was triggering synth for half the show when I was with him. This is a volume for the synth. This chooses whether it's synth or guitar. This is a kill switch for that fun, which I love to do. Another specialty sound you don't want to do a lot of. Standard tone, standard 5-way switching system. And this splits the lead pickup, which is a Seymour Duncan JB Jr., and these are Duncan Duckbuckers. It's got the original Floyd Rose. Body's made out of lightweight swamp ash. The signatures, I'll tell you what, the one that's missing is Les Paul was right across here, and just through travel, it just rubbed off in the case. I have Jeff Lorber, played with him recently. Uli John Roth. James Burton, had Steve Cropper, he's kind of faded away there. Jimmy Page, John McLaughlin. It's a British comedian named Vic Reeves. So when I was with Jeff Beck, all of his friends are comedians. So we got to hang out with a lot of funny people. And when I went to South Africa on the history tour with Michael Jackson, I just smoked up a credit card getting African art. And I had this artist friend of mine, Pamelina, draw one of the batiks and put it on the guitar. Rosewood fretboard and a glued-in neck, so it's a very smooth transition between the neck to get up high into the body. This thing is a string damper, which most of them don't come steampunked, but I just had a resin fetish one day and started adding all kinds of sprockets and goofy things. But here's why I use it. I'll do the before and after. I first started using it for tapping mainly. It gets very noisy if you have distortion and you're tapping. So if you put the damper down, it cleans it up. And I use it almost all the time, unless I know I'm going to need open strings or harmonic, which I can just flip out of the way in a hurry. And just put it back and things are just cleaner. It just doesn't ring out. And especially when you're in a band situation, there's all kinds of overtones happening anyway. Sometimes if you're making noise, you don't realize it's you. You think it's the other guy. So that's kind of an insurance policy, which, funny enough, you can get at Batten.com. And there's two different models. One is for the 3-on-a-side tuners, and this is kind of held in place under the tuner washer, so it's held by pressure. And if you have a 6-in-line headstock like a Strat, you screw in a couple small screws to hold that on.
Awesome. Jennifer, thank you. Sorry to interrupt the session. Okay, we found it really fascinating. We love how the course is going. I mean, of course, we've heard it for a day and a half now. It's killer, killer, killer.
Thanks.
I want everyone to know that there's still a couple days to get a premier kind of bonus savings on the introduction of the new course. So go check out Rock Sauce Rhythm Guitar. Also enter to get one of these pedals if you dig any of those tones. We already own one. We love it. We can't quite get the sounds that Jennifer's playing yet, but we're working on it. And do you cover some of the effects in this new
I do.
course?
I cover a lot of the effects.
So you'll
yeah.
show us how to kind of model and use it and, you know, work it into what we're
Indeed,
doing, right?
it will be in this course.
Thank you so much. We love the shoes, by the way.
Yeah,
Did we get a shot of those
Let's
shoes?
get a shot of the shoes.
Let's outro on the shoes,
Pretty fancy
shall we?
shoes.
These are pretty special,
Stick it out there. We got the cameras on
pretty
it.
special sparkly shoes. Check those out. They look good in the lights on the stage.
They do.
Wow.
You can't be too fancy in your feet, you know.
Very nice.
Jennifer, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Well, we'll see you in 5 minutes. Actually, we will. And everyone else out there, you know, check out Rock Sauce Rhythm Guitar and stay tuned for Rock Sauce Lead Guitar. Thanks, Jennifer.
Yeah, buddy. All right.
All right, we're off. We're off.
Okay, great.